RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, what's up? This is Tara Devlin. We meet here every Saturday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern at the RDT Daily Facebook and YouTube channels. And we are rebroadcast starting Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Progressive Voices. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do something with these levels. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just turning the buttons. So we meet here every Saturday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Where's my people? I don't see my people. Where are you? I see Zenny in the chat room. Where's the rest of you? I'm taking attendance. Ed. Okay, I see Ed. Where is everyone? Where's Haiku? Where is Greg? Where is Ted? Where is Shannon? I'm taking notes. I'm gonna know. I won't forget this, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I probably won't forget it, but it is what it is. We will have a show regardless. That's what I always say. We do it anyway, even though we don't have big millionaire benefactors. We only have each other. Hey, we're gonna keep doing it anyway. So what was I saying? So we are on Progressive Voices, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Please give the show a good review on iTunes and keep coming back. It works if you work it, so work it, you're worth it, and live it. And also, what else was I going to say? I keep forgetting. Oh, it feels like so long since I've seen you guys. Well, since I see your name in the chat room, I don't really see you. You see me, but yeah, because I wanted to do a couple of other shows. I couldn't do it. I couldn't find the time. That's the problem. You know my situation. We're trying to make the show, build the show up, so we can do the show every single day, and then have the Saturday shows as our specials. So, and I do the weekday specials when I can, and in the meantime, I have to hustle up work so we can keep the Tarabuster studios going, and that's what happened. So I had one of these. Everybody's on a fucking side hustle. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna curse. I told you. I keep saying it. Yes, and Lee in New York City says, it's been too long since I saw Tara in the real world. It's true. No one's really seen me in the real world in a while, since I never leave my house. I feel like the pandemic has really brought out the house cat in me, and I never want to leave. That's how I feel. I don't want to leave my house, ever. I feel, put upon if I'm asked to leave. I go out sometimes, and it's not good, because I gotta have some exercise. I can't, how long am I going to keep this up? Moving about 10 feet every day from the bed to the computer, back to the bed, and to the bathroom. Well, you don't really need to know about that, but you imagined it anyway. Well, I'm only human. It sucks. I hear you. I hate being human. It's really annoying, especially living with a bunch of humans who are a waste of human DNA. That's the truth. That's what makes me so sad sometimes. You guys know I suffer from everything. Every seasonal affective disorder. I don't know what else. That's about it. I'm not manic depressive. I'm mild. I guess it's called dysthymia. That's what it's called. Well, that's when I was diagnosed, meaning that you have a low grade depression always going. But I'm better. Usually I'm up and down. Lately it's been tough, but I feel very blessed, and not by a big giant spook who lives on a cloud or anything, but by the universe, because I'm a survivor. You guys know that. I must have had about 3 or 4 lifetimes already. That's why I look like this. I'm only about 18 years old, so I've had a lot of living. And it's given me appreciation. It's also, I don't know, I feel sometimes I wish I didn't feel as much as I do and care as much as I do. It must be nice to be able to turn off and not look at anything, or not see Twitler, or not get outraged. But how can you? It's like asking. I couldn't do that, because that would be like asking a fish not to swim or a bird not to fly. So anyway, before we keep going, I don't know. I say this is therapy for the resistance, but it's really like my therapy. So I want to thank you for keeping me going another day. And look at all you people in the chat room. If you're on different channels, come and join us at the RDT Daily YouTube channel. And that is youtube.com/C for channel/RDT Daily Media. No, yeah, right. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No link at YouTube. What are you talking about, Steve? Steve on Facebook says no link at YouTube. Oh, well. Shannon's taking care of that. Okay, guys. I also, right off the bat, I want to say thank you, Jim. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you, Deborah, for your super chat. And Deborah says, "How's it going?" It's going. It's we'll get to it in a minute. And Haiku, I love your cute little alligator emojis. And JD, thank you so much. It's really nice to get a super chat in pounds, because that means we're reaching across the pond here. And I want to come back. I want to go back. That's where my ancestors are from. I got to get the hell out of here. I often think I would be a lot happier or less stressed if I didn't have to worry about healthcare. That's one big burden. I live day to day. Everybody is a finite being. I'm not getting any younger. And I'm like, shit. What, if anything, if I get sick, it's all coming crumbling down. Because we have nothing here. We don't have universal health care. We don't have sick leave. We don't have any guarantee, that if you get sick, you could even take a goddamn day off. So that's probably part of the reason why this country sucks. And yeah, so Shannon was telling me that she made a comment on a message board that the country sucked. And someone attacked her saying, well, why don't you leave? You could always leave or whatever. That's what they say. Oh, yes, let's just leave. Honey, no, you can't leave. Unfortunately, you can't just pick up and leave, since Twitler and the filthy, disgusting Republicans are so inept that we are the pariahs to the world. The world, don't worry about the wall, Trumpansies, because the world has built a wall around us. We can't go anywhere, even if we wanted to. Not even to Canada. They're patrolling the border at Canada, right? This is what's happening. And they are actively patrolling to ensure that Americans don't come crossing into Canada and infest Canada with their filth and their coronavirus that is not under control. I don't care how much Twitler talks about it in the past tense. This country, yeah, it sucks. So what are we going to do about it? I want people to get mad and get active. But you know what? They have... This is why we get together every week and during the week as well. So please subscribe and hit the goddamn notification bell so you can know when we're doing a weekday special. But they have us at each other's throats, and that's by design, deliberately. They want us fighting amongst each other, and the thing is, like, come on. They get us with the oldest tricks in the book. That's why Republicans are so irritating, because they fall for it every time. Divide and conquer. So we will never get together and put our anger where it belongs, at the top. As long as we have these assholes. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not cursing. I'm supposed to not curse. All right, whatever. Hanging around our national neck like goddamn albatrosses. All right, that's me. Hey, I'm back. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. I know, it's Saturday, so I got to do the music cues. All right, so soon we're going to have a guest on today's show, Mary Edwards. She's an amazing composer and recording artist. She has a podcast as well called In Between Session Notes. I'm sure. Let me see. It's called Notes. I'm sorry. I got dyslexia sometimes. Notes Between Sessions with Mary Edwards, which she talks about. She discusses music. I don't know anything about music. I have a guitar behind me. I used to play the guitar that's about it. That's all I know. I played the guitar for therapeutic reasons, but whatever. The reason she's coming on the show, in addition to her having this amazing podcast, if you want to tune out some Twitler every now and then and talk about music, which is the language of humanity. Check out Mary's podcast. But she was harassed. You might have seen the video. She was attacked on Staten Island yesterday. I think, what's today? Saturday. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was the day before. But we'll find out the whole story. Of course, attacked because she's an African-American woman walking around doing errands on Staten Island. Now, because of Twitler's America, the racists are out of the woodwork, and she can't even go and pick up her goddamn dry cleaning without being assaulted by a Trumpanzee. And, I guess I'm only speculating. I don't know if he's a Trump supporter. I'm sure he is. Come on. What are the odds? He's not. But he assaulted her with the N-word. We'll play the video. It's disgusting. And Mary will tell her tale. And it's also, think about the PTSD we have as a society. That our fellow Americans walk around. You can't even go out and get your goddamn laundry or your dry cleaning without being assaulted for no goddamn reason by some white asshole who brings nothing to society. And that's why they love Twitler. Because if anything, if all else, they could be the bottom feeders of humanity. The scum of the scum of the cancer of the scum. And at least they can say the N-word. That makes them feel like they're free. They're better. They could be better. Like James Baldwin said, if the lowest white scum of the cancer of the scum can kick down on a black person, at least he could say, at least I am not black. So, these people, this is what Twitler has done. Not that they weren't always there, racists out in the community. Of course, but we're always evolving. And there has to be a time we got to put these people back in the closet where they belong. I mean, really, go back under your rocks. You filthy worms. And I don't even want to insult the worms. Really. Because worms add things to society. They perform a function. And they would never behave like that. They would never behave like a dumb, racist idiot assaulting strangers for no reason because they have a darker pigment. How stupid are these people? They make me sick. But let's wait for Mary to call in to really get into that. She's calling in about 10 minutes. Let me make sure I have all the phones open. Yes. Because that wouldn't be beyond me to, like, book a guest to call in and then, like, not set the phones up. So, you know. Also, I want to thank you, Shannon. I see your super chat. Thank you. And, yeah, we got a lot of good people in the chat. So if you're on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere else, please come and check us out on youtube.com/c/ for channel/RDT Daily Media. And the reason I'm laughing is because we have another Trumpanzee on the chat. And Dale Salisbury. What is with these Trumpanzees? Trump 2020. That's all they got? Why? You might as well just say, I'm a racist. I'm an idiot. I'm a dupe of a con man. A tax-cheating, draft-dodging, dictator-envying con man with a fake university and a vitamin scam. You might as well just walk in the room and say, I'm an idiot. Because when normal patriotic Americans see something like that, that's how we read it. We read between the lines. Yes, and I love the Trump boat parade sank. It was pleasing to me. I hate to say, I don't hate to say it. I'm saying it. I don't hate it. I enjoyed it because, come on, don't these evangelicals, the same evangelicals that whenever something hits New York, they're saying, oh, it's because gays. Excuse me. Oh my God. Don't the evangelicals, can't they read between the lines there? Clearly, God hates Twitler and the Trumpanzees. I mean, there's this country, everything that the Republicans have touched turns to crap. A pandemic, a depression. Where's the raining frogs? The locusts. That's all we need. Next. But it was pleasing to see the Trump boats sinking. I thought it was great. I don't know. Well, they said they were going to make America great, but I didn't know they meant they were going to, I don't know, look like idiots. Well, of course, what am I talking about? Of course I knew they were going to look like idiots. It's like, how can you not look like an idiot when you're waving a giant Trump flag, a giant made in China Trump flag that says make America great again? These people, and oh no, you think it's not made in China? Yes, it is. Here we go. Made in China Trump flags. Are you kidding me? And, all right, before Mary calls in, let's take a show of hands. Who believes that Twitler said service members and veterans, and especially those who died in combat or war, who believes that Twitler called them losers? Oh, I see a lot of hands here. Yeah. Of course he did. And he's out there saying he's going to swear on anything. He'll swear on the Bible. He doesn't believe in the Bible. He'll swear on anything. People, stop taking those Trump Network vitamins. They are non-FDA approved. Stop with the Trump University degrees. Yes. Oh, thank you, Stephen Lee. you win today so far with the very generous super chat. Trump banzees will not replace us. That's a good chant. We need to do that chant next time when we're out. Trump banzees will not replace. It doesn't really flow off the tongue as much as the Hitler's chant that Trump's very fine people were chanting, namely Jews will not replace us. But yeah, let's see. Let me see what this idiot is saying. Oh, you're a douche. I guess that's me. Thomas Capilli. I know it's a Twitler. It's a Trump banzee because guess what? Y-O-U-R. A douche. You're a douche. Yeah, well, at least I know where to put the apostrophe. Or when to use Y-O-U-R apostrophe. Bye. Obama started targeting of police officers with an apostrophe S. Here. You see what I'm saying? Obama started the targeting of police officers what? Dale? Police officers what? You see what I mean? These people are ignorant. And that's what you can say. Although let's put it this way. Although it's like that, it's a spiritual, political, societal axiom. Though all ignorant, how do you put this? Though all Republicans may not be ignorant, all of the ignorant are Republicans. Okay? Exactly. That's it. Did I explain that correctly? Yes. Because what is he saying? Obama started the targeting of police officers with an apostrophe S. Police officers what? They don't know where to put the apostrophe. This all comes from a lack of intellectual curiosity. And it's okay. Read a book. Turn off Fox News. You're being played and you look like an idiot. Like, who's that famous? Who said, I'd rather, it's better to keep quiet and be thought a fool than open your mouth and remove all doubt? Yeah. I will take orange over the radical left. Yeah. Well, you're an idiot. I wouldn't expect anything normal from you. You see? But you will take the radical left's what? Our socialist security, your socialist unemployment insurance, your socialist Medicare, your socialist everything that makes the America great that you want to destroy because you're racist. That's what it comes down to. And we've had the studies here, which we've discussed. These idiots don't want to live in a country. They can't. They don't want to live. They can't handle. They don't have the maturity, the basic maturity required to function in a free democratic society of 320 million diverse people. So they would rather pine for a billionaire to trickle on them as long as that big white authoritarian daddy can save them from the scary others who don't know their place. Yes, I'm a working class I can't get into this. Every time one of these idiots gets on the feed, it becomes I can't. Yeah. It becomes a show about me beating them down like the morons that they are. I have 21. Who cares? Dale, you're an idiot. If you vote for a racist, you're a racist. If you think that somebody coming down an escalator saying Mexicans are rapists and that's the kind of guy you want to represent you, you're a racist. So you better look at yourself and say, why do I hate those 21 blood relatives of mine who are African American? Why am I such an idiot? Please ask yourself that. And stop putting your ignorance on my Facebook feed. Please. You're annoying. You're a working class American. Good. You're an idiot. That's what you are. You're one of these useless idiots. When we're trying to make a country, build a country that works for more than just Twitler and his filthy pals, you idiots stand in the way every time, dragging us back like a goddamn albatross around our national necks. The morons. Jesus Christ. I'm a working class American too. Yeah, we're working class. We want a country that isn't the 34th out of 35 countries to raise a family. That's thanks to you, Drew. And yeah, I'm not. Hey, if you don't know this, maybe this is your first time and in the show, but we're not all about Joe Biden here either. But we will vote for him because I'll take a neoliberal over a fascist. Because I'd rather be pushing Joe Biden left than I would be fighting this filthy fascist, anti-democratic, dictator-envying con man. Everyone has the right to choose. It's a free country. Yeah, okay, that's what they tell us. My opinion is just as yours. I respect your view. Show me the same. Stop putting stupid statements on my Facebook feed. Show you the same. You have the right to your opinion. You don't have the right to your own facts. Okay? That's how it works. And this is my show. And if you want, you go have the Dale Salisbury show. Dale Salisbury Buster, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Excuse my language. Oh, yeah, here, before Mary calls in, she might actually be on the line. Oh, God, you see what happened? Oh, she is on the line. Give me a minute, Mary. I'm getting to you. I need your help because you see what happens? I get crazy. I can't help it. I just wanted to show you. Oh, here. See, look. Here's all the campaign banners being proudly produced in China. Look at that. Look at all the Trump Make America Great. Keep America Great. Look at that. From the Yahoo Flag Factory in China. Workers make flags for President Donald Trump's 2020 re-election campaign at the Yahoo Flag Factory in Fuyang Province, China. Dumb fucks. Oh, my God. Excuse me. I got to stop that. I know. All right. We're going to talk to Mary now. We need help. We're calling in backup. Mary Edwards.
Hello, Tara.
Can you hear me? All right.
Loud and clear.
Yes.
I can hear you as clear as a bell.
Oh, my God. Everyone on the phone, Mary Edwards, composer, songwriter, songster, whatever you call it, everything that has to do with music, incredibly talented musical artist with a podcast as well. It's called
Notes Between Sessions.
Notes Between Sessions. And I'll put the link in the description so everybody can find you. So, but you also, I know Mary, we know each other a very long time, since we were youngsters, kids, really. I don't know. Were we kids? Really? I mean,
when we were kids.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Exactly. It was a long time ago. And, but I used to live on Staten Island too. So Mary, you're still on Staten Island, and.
Well, I relocated back to Staten Island about 10 years ago, and it was an odd shift. To go from Fort Greene, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
But I came back for, you come back for economic reasons,
Right.
and my family needed some help renovating the house, and I was like, I'll do it. 'Cause I was actually kind of getting priced out of Brooklyn, and I was looking around Brooklyn and Manhattan, and the long and short of it was, the viable option was, well, I know Staten Island, and I can navigate Staten Island. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be through the same lens, but good things came out of the move, but something happened the other day that was a bit of a shitstorm.
Right. So let me play the video. It's just so shocking. This was on the cover of the Staten Island Advance. For those, this is shocking. It's just let's wait for here's the goddamn music. Hold on a second. My name is Tara Devlin. This is Tarabuster. We'll be right back with Mary Edwards. All right, we're back with Mary Edwards. We're talking about Mary Edwards. Well, Mary is a amazing singer, songwriter, composer with a podcast Between. I'm sorry, I'm such an asshole. Between Notes?
That's all right. No, you're not. Notes between sessions.
Why is it? It's somewhere it got
right.
stuck in my mind as between. No, like it's just. I have
like between the lines. Well,
something
because everything is always between the lines, right?
Maybe.
So of course,
it's like it had embedded.
I mean, look how we're all living.
Exactly.
It's natural to have that thought process.
I am so sorry. See how nice Mary is.
Yeah.
You see that?
No, that's
like I'm just telling the audience. Look at Mary right now. She rescuing me from myself and being so nice and just. Like it's okay. You mispronounced my podcast twice now, and that's what I mean.
Fine. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So, and Tara, I appreciate you. Tara, I mean, I don't even have to tell your audience who you are. You are you. I consider you a voice of reason.
Oh, thank you.
I consider you a voice of candor, and I'm really first I want to say I'm honored to be on your show today.
Oh, cool.
I know it's gonna bring this story in at a relevant angle, but I also do not want to paint it outside of the lines in which I am trying to convey forward what the message is, what I want to see come out of what the can I say fuck?
Yes, you can. You can.
Whatever the fuck happened.
Right.
It's I'm gonna take fuck and make flambe. So,
right. All right. Let me play
just in essence. So yeah. Let's
play the video.
Let's hit the tape. Roll tape.
Exactly. Roll the tape.
Not touch. She's my customer.
I'm in.
You're a
Really?
Go ahead. Go.
Wow.
My own YouTube.
Unbelievable.
No.
Yeah. No, that's
Think I
okay.
need
Thank
that?
you very much for.
Ignore her. She thinks I need that. Ma'am. I'm on every universe.
No. We're gonna.
I'm on every universe. I'm on every universe. Ain't no breaking my jaw.
Unbelievable.
You're breaking my jaw. That's all I can tell you.
Sir.
Ain't no
Are you listening to the bleep version, or are you listening to the one that I put?
Oh no, the bleep.
Get
The
out of my
bleep.
face, man. You're not even wearing a mask. It has no gravity. It has no gravity. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
true.
gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to say. I'll give you a narrative when we're done here.
Yeah. Hold on. You can't hear the video?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Are you kidding me?
I can't hear the video. I don't know if they can hear the video, but I can't hear it.
No, they can
But
hear it.
I'm saying that they can hear
Yeah.
it. But what I'm saying is they have, what happens when this stuff goes to mainstream news is they're going to bleep everything else. You have to imagine what the bleep is.
Well, is it on your Facebook page, not bleeped, or because
it's on my it's on my Facebook page
I could play it.
unbleeped. So
well,
and
because
it's on
I didn't
Twitter,
want to play
and it's on Instagram.
Yeah, I didn't want to play the because it disgusts me. Like I would never.
No, I want you to. This is the point, Tara. This is the point that I taped this man saying what he said to me because you need to feel the visceral.
Right.
You need to have the visceral response.
True.
Because I can say to you, "Oh, this happened to me," and people will say, "Oh, that's really messed up. That's a shame. What a disgusting animal. What a fucked up individual." But you need to feel it. Like, in other words, if I tell you, yeah, I cut myself by accident, and I bled out, and had to throw on a tourniquet, you say, "Oh, that sounds like it doesn't sound interesting, right?" But if you get scraped, or you see the blood gushing out of my arm, it's a whole other situation.
Right.
So that's why. So if you want me to tell you from top to bottom,
please,
what happened?
Yes.
Okay, so this had to have been Thursday. This was Thursday. I had a little bit of time to kill. I live in New York, Staten Island, and I had a little bit of time to kill. Running a quick errand, running to the cleaners because I had to pick up a pair of trousers I had in there, and a simple errand, right? And it should have taken me 3 minutes. When I got there, I noticed, my first response when I see people, especially in this pandemic, without a mask, people say, "Well, is this about a mask?" It's about a lot of things. It's a multi-layered extravaganza here. So I see a guy loitering out front without a mask. His body language is not telling me that he's giving 3/4 of a shit about. He was like literally throwing his weight around in a way like you could smell the arrogance coming off of him.
God. And
so I said, let me just get in there. He's standing so close to the door, and I blah blah blah. And I had my mask on, so 6 of 1. The minute I turned to go into the door, now this is at the Tyson Plaza next to the Highland Plaza that you'd be probably familiar with. You grew up in this area?
Yes.
And so this is on Highland Boulevard between Tyson and Edits. And as I'm turning in, I hear. And I thought, first of all, I haven't heard that sound in 8 months.
Disgusting.
Most people have the nerve,
Right.
Most people have the sense now not to do that.
That's disgusting.
In the pandemic.
Exactly.
So I thought, this guy, what the fuck? So I turn around and I look and I see that the spittle is at my foot. It's not on my foot, but it's at, just a millimeter, and it would have been like, I would not have been here talking to you because I might have been in prison.
That's disgusting.
So he
spit at you. He spit at you.
Well, he spit at me, which is like number one fuck up abomination.
Right. And
then to seal the deal, because it adds a whole other layer of whatever. To seal the deal, he said, can I say all these things on the air? I'm going in.
I mean, you're allowed.
Well, people need to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm allowed because I'm black.
Well,
no,
yes, because I would never. I would never. Even if it fit, what I mean?
You're telling the story. You're telling the story as if as it was. Of course, you should be allowed to say the word. So I'm going to say the word. He said, "You fucking black nigger. Who the fuck do you think you are? You fucking want everything.
What?
You fucking think you rule the world. You fucking nigger."
Holy shit. You
Just
think
like
you rule the world. Unbelievable.
Yeah. You think you want everything, you fucking black. Now, I know he's not talking to Mary Edwards, but I represent something that he felt emboldened to lash out at.
Right.
He was triggered by the color of my skin. And he's saying black nigger, so like, hey,
Damn.
You're not talking to Pat Boone, buddy. So I'm, at that, my whole inner self is like, what the fuck?
Right.
Between the spit and that,
Wow.
I had a good mind to wallop him, but I'm like, that's not going to serve anything. So I went in, kind of breathed a little bit, got my pants. The store owners were like, he's messed up. I said, that don't matter.
Right.
He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
He's cognizant because he's so precision in his intent.
Yep.
That is not the narrative. The narrative here is because ultimately he did this to 2 other black women on the plaza right after he did it to me. But I'll get to that.
Wow.
So in some what you will see on the video is what because he continued his rant while I was getting my pants and while I was taking out my phone. So he was a nonstop fuck you nigger machine, right?
Wow.
And so, I started taping him, and he was going off, and he was giving me the middle finger, and he was like,
what
fuck you, and,
fuck?
I got my own YouTube page, and I said, well, good, you'll be on mine too, and keep it up, and, we're gonna show the world what this looks like.
Really?
It's usually, a racial situation is usually not. It's usually not that blatant. It's usually a series of microaggressions that are awfully hard to prove, but you just know people are doing it because racism is so systemic, and the roots run deep, and the roots run fine, and they're sucking up the earth. And when you try to tell people something, they gaslight you and look at you like, we're going to make everything a racial issue. It's like, well, good. I'm going to show you the culmination of all of this.
Yep.
Because this man is the culmination of all of this. And so, I proceeded to tape him. He was getting in my face. The dry cleaner owner came out and tried to, provide a barrier for me. My partner was there because she had actually drove me there because we were trying to run some errands before I had to go teach a Zoom class. And I was getting ready to teach a sound art class. And so, like all the time that I was supposed to be, kind of back prepping, I'm standing here videotaping this schmuck. And so, several people, there are many people who were trying to intervene, and, some people wanted to give him the what for, and I just said, nope, don't hit him, don't do it.
Right.
The cops are being called. My partner called the cops. A friend that I just incidentally ran into who was also running an errand, she called the cops. So, everybody was on the pulse. Everyone had their finger on the pulse. And so I said, we're going to do this right because it's awfully tempting to do it a different way. We're not going to do it that way. Let's complete this narrative the right way. Because, then if, God forbid, something happens to him, it's another story. God forbid something happens to me and him, it's another story.
Yeah,
and,
wait, hold on, Mary. You got the cue here. Can you hear the cue there? Can you hear that? You don't hear the music?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
It's faint. Okay.
All right. We're back. Thanks, Mary. Keep going. We're talking to Mary Edwards, who was assaulted on Staten Island by a racist asshole out of the blue who started spitting at her and calling her the N-word, just for what, walking and picking up your laundry or your dry cleaning. It's in my neighborhood. Right.
In my neighborhood. On what was to be an ordinary Thursday late morning, total bullshit, right?
Disgusting.
So long and short is that at that point, another black woman and another black woman happened, unrelated incident, but kind of woven into mine, was that there were two separate black women who didn't know each other. It just coincided that they were walking within, a minute of each other, and he proceeded to harass
them,
each one,
Holy
and
shit.
the second one, he followed to the end of the plaza, and then he continued walking across the street, to the new build, because we have some back-to-back builds going on. And that's when the police showed up, and I was like, "Hey, listen, can I get in the back of your car and like show you where the guy is? Because he's wandering off, and I can't imagine that he's gotten so far." And the police kind of giggled at me because I think they were thinking, "What black woman wants to get voluntarily in the back of a police car?"
Really?
But
exactly.
Which goes to show I normally don't think about those things to detail. I'm keenly aware of shit that happens and the potential of things like this.
Right.
And I always try to prep myself for, how am I going to react in a moment like this? Because, it's getting wild out there.
Yeah.
It's getting wild because people are saying what they feel like they're saying. I mean, I haven't been called a nigger since the Reagan administration.
That's insane. I know.
To my face.
Right.
To my face.
Exactly. It's the climate now. They're emboldened.
They're the climate,
emboldened.
Right. Right. They think, you don't belong here.
Yeah. They can just.
I take umbrage to being called African American because don't hyphenate me. My family has been in this country since the rocks were being formed out of the water. Plus, we're from Africa, so you know what? I'm American. Don't hyphenate me. I'm black.
Right.
American.
Okay.
So it's giving, because I find things like that give people an advantage to try to diminish my experience, to take away from my experience.
Right.
That's to kind of sum this up is that the police did get him, but here's the complicated story: is that it appears that they arrested him. In the advance, the journalist she did her very best to account my story, but there's a little bit of a glitch in there in terms of the timeline, in terms of, the question is, was he arrested, was he not arrested?
Right.
Well, because I had to, I had to go to work, I followed up afterwards, and I went to the precinct, and I spoke to the officer, and he's like, well, I said, listen, I'm here to formally press charges because that was hate crime plus. And he said, well, here's the deal. We got him, but he put up a bit of a fight. So I think what was supposed to be a simple arrest turned into, I think they had to take him away for other reasons because I think he tried to hit.
Oh, wait. Oh, so he resisted arrest. He probably just went nuts or something, right? He resisted because his whole tirade was, he should have the right. I mean, if you see in the video, he's like, I'm like, right, because when I said to him, because it was like the third time he spat near me. The first time was the minute I turned to go into the cleaners. The whole thing was completely unprovoked. And so when, by the third time, because I was like, please, officers, get here before the shit gets too real. In essence, he lashed out. I said, are you fucking spitting on me, man? You're fucking spitting in his throat like you got nerves. Disgusting.
Like, I just could not believe the gumption. The gumption, it was like blowing my mind. And that's why my reaction was just like, really?
Well, you're really restrained yourself.
I mean, it's probably,
yeah.
I did because in my head, several things ran through my head at that moment. I have to get on with my day. I care about my holistic health.
Yes.
I have family and friends that I love and want to spend time with. My birthday's coming up next week, and I want a cake without a file in it.
Really? Right. You want to have a nice day. You want to get back to your life.
I want to have I'm going to see my mother. It's like I don't need that. I don't need that to disrupt anything. But so that's you have to consider what the future looks like and what the immediate future looks like. So essentially the whole thing unfolded where I spoke to the officer later on, and he said that we got him, but he got out of hand because he was just as he did. The officers didn't see this, but you could see it on the tape. He's like, I can spit. You got a problem with me spitting?
God.
I can spit. What are you saying? I can't spit? And it's like,
and then he called you a racist. This is what they do.
I will tell you that it's not the first time that it's happened where I've called someone out on their racism, and they've in turn called me racist because projection is in vogue.
This is what they do. But that's what these white racists. This is what they do. This is what Trump is telling
them. You're
them.
racist for bringing up racism.
Yes.
And you're anti-American for wanting more than what we give you.
Well, that's what it is. It's like you're racist. They think there's something called reverse racism. They think that it really is true. There is no such thing as
reverse racism. It's called racism. Okay?
Right.
So
there is no. Right.
Someone's truly being racist. If you that's like saying, I don't know. There's a couple of things that have prefixes on them that don't modify.
It's just it's bullshit.
Domestic. Here's one. Here's one. Domestic terrorism.
Right.
It's terrorism.
Right.
If
terrorism.
Someone's terrorizing you,
it's terrorism.
You're a terrorist.
But
Don't be fancy.
This is what this
Don't be
is
special.
Right. This is what Trump is telling them. And they always have this underlying feeling anyway. These racists, they think it's the white man who is under attack. You understand? This is what they think. And in fact, last week on the show, or maybe, I don't know, one of the days during the week, we did the show, we played a video of this white guy harassing a reporter on the boardwalk. He was outside of one of Trump's rallies, and it was in and this white guy just walked over to the reporter, and he started harassing the reporter, which is what they do now, calling him fake news and you should be ashamed. And then he started with something about him being white, they hate me because I'm white. I'm a white man. I count too. My life matters. This is what he was saying. But that is what they all think.
Hasn't it always?
Right.
But hasn't it always?
Exactly.
And what is this notion of? Well, this is the takeaway from all of this being in quotes and all of this being this gigantic circle of piss is, you got the kid in school who's a motherfucking bully and he's going to take away your lunch money and or your lunch. And then when you go to get it back, he accuses you of stealing his food and malnourishing him and crying malnourishment.
Oh my God.
Like, everybody stop the one. I mean, we can go into a million aspects of this, but the end game to all of this is I really want to push for dialogue, even though I know we're all tired of talking. Not necessarily this kind of talk, but I'm not trying to by any means kumbaya this thing, but I'm also not trying to, this is not a radicalization of an incident. It is what it is, and it's in essence, it's to give people the visceral experience of why this needs to stop and why the what you might think are the small or innocent gestures or the things that are ultimately dangerous, no matter what the size. I always say those what seems to be those civil conversations at the dinner table, and somebody, they may not say, "Oh, well, that I saw that nigger today," and I mean, you're not going to necessarily hear that, but you're going to hear other. You're going to hear other in not inflections, but you're going to hear just other, racially loaded references that imply that we are lesser. And it's like, let's break this dialogue right open.
Wow.
And let's have it with each other. Let's stop, assuming that that was a one-time thing.
Right.
Because, I'll just say flat out. I mean, I grew up here. I moved away. I came back. Of all the, I'm almost 53 years old. Of all the times I've been called nigger, about 99% of them have been within the 10-mile radius of my house.
Wow.
My birth house in Myers Corners, or right in front by someone in a passing car, or someone in school who felt emboldened. But back in the day, it was a different situation. I could call them on it, and my parent would call their parent, and there'd be that, I don't know where my child learned that from. I'm so sorry.
Right.
They learned it from you.
Exactly. Where'd they learn it from?
Kids are because.
Wait, hold on, Mary. We gotta hold on, Mary. Hold on, 1 second. All right, we're back with Mary Edwards. Sorry about that, Mary. Here.
Oh no, that's all right. So, kids. I just want to say, kids are very honest, and to this day, kids are very honest. I grew up where the kids would say, "Well, black people are all on welfare,"
right.
and I'd say, "Well, my father works is the director of welfare for Staten Island, and he has all the statistics.
Right.
So where did you get your information?
Right. Don't argue with facts, though.
Right. I mean, I think my nickname in school was "Don't fuck with me" because I have all the answers.
Wow.
Because,
no, that's good.
That's
what you gotta be, though.
That
right?
was the preparation. Yeah, I mean that was the preparation that I had to take on to function through people constantly making assumptions about blacks and be having, oh, you're not defensive. No, you're making statements you're generalizing, you're making stereotypes. And if we are to grow up and move through this world, and sadly, a lot of people that I've known since some of them, they continue to live under a cloche. I don't. And so, I don't live with the assumption that people can't change or acknowledge something different. But you know how it is. Once people are comfortable with what they know.
Yep. Exactly.
If once you know something else, it is a responsibility. It's like someone giving you the gauntlet, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with it? Well, you're supposed to make this world a better place for everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, how can you talk?
I'm being idealistic,
right? But there's somebody like this guy. You see, I'm under I believe that like the 35%.
Well, he's useless. He's useless, but he's useful.
You think? I don't
He's a
think
tool.
he's. I think he.
No, I don't think he's useful. I don't think he's useful to me as an individual. I think that the reason why I took that video is let's make what happened usful.
Yeah. Well, thank
You see what
God
I'm
you
saying?
took the video, because this happens probably
Exactly. Thank
more
you.
often, and there are no videos. So it's like, if it's not on video, no one is outraged. But what I was
Exactly.
thinking when I was watching this video, Mary, was that just the trauma of being in your own neighborhood and going about your day, minding your own business, and having
Mind my own damn business.
yeah, and somebody assaulting you for a distinction without a difference, and them for what reason? I mean, for me, it's traumatizing. It is. I mean, walking
is.
around like that.
I mean.
You gotta be you gotta always be on guard. What do you gotta wear, a goddamn body camera? I mean, you have the right to be. That's why there has to be consequences. Obviously, the guy, there's something wrong with him. But,
and there will be.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
You know, there is, but again, he was
there
far
has to be
too
consequences.
precision.
Yeah.
That's not an off the mark thing.
Yeah.
Listen, if spitting was a deadly, he'd be a sharpshooter. He'd be a Navy SEAL.
He's
I mean,
disgusting. Yeah.
he spat in my direction with precision.
Which
he was sending
is
a message
an assault
3 times.
right there in the middle of a
It's an assault.
pandemic.
Right? Exactly.
On top of
In
it,
the middle. I mean, he was not just endangering me.
Right.
He was endangering. I mean, listen, several other people there. You can say the word nigger, they might be horrified or they might ignore it because they know it's a bad word, but they're going to go home at the end of the day and forget about it.
Right.
But spitting is universal. So when you pair the two, just traditionally, you've seen it in all the movies. You've read it in all the books that we're reading, but not the history books they teach in school, because in school they make it sound like we just wanted everyone to get along. No, you know what you did,
right?
And the guilt prevails, and that is part of why the video needs to be seen, because it's like that's the shit that is somebody's brother, father, mother. I don't know who he is.
Yeah,
we don't know each other. He's related to somebody, and there's got to be some shame attached to it. And that's not why I did this. I didn't do this in the spirit of humiliating him. I did this in the spirit of I'm not going to stand humiliated.
Absolutely.
And allow for someone to just do that.
But it's also,
I don't want him hurt.
Well,
he's already hurting. I don't want him.
Well, obviously he's hurt.
Listen,
somebody, they're all hurting.
In my head, listen. In my head, I Bruce Lee'd him. All right, but in reality, I don't want him hurt. I don't want to be hurt myself, and I don't mean physically. I don't want this thing to be more painful for either one of us as individuals, but there's a lot of shit that needs to be healed.
Right.
And it needs to start with people acknowledging that this is ugly, and this is a carryover from shit that you've learned, shit that you were born into, like a caste system, that it's okay to look down on people, that, you might think you're not prejudiced because you're throwing people a couple of bones or a couple of crumbs. It's not acceptable.
Right.
And nigger is only a fraction of it.
But why would somebody...
Nigger is only a fraction of it.
Well, this is the thing about, as far as healing is concerned, and the community, and trying to make something positive out of this experience, is you need, as a human being, you need to know that the community is outraged by this, and that the community will rally around you. Do you understand? Like, that is how I believe you'll be able to heal, how the community will heal. But the community also has to send the strong and clear message that this is unacceptable. Period. It's not cute, funny.
Right, it's unacceptable.
And it's not whatever problems he has. It's clearly somebody has a problem who's standing in a shopping plaza assaulting women because they have darker pigment. I mean, this person is very ill, is clearly ill. But, there has to be these serious consequences for this. And
there must be consequences
for you and the community to heal. You know what I'm saying? It has to, I don't know. If I was in your shoes, this is what I was when I was watching it. It's just so demoralizing and it's abusive. It's every time I walk out of my house,
absolutely,
I have to think, am I going to be attacked? For just going to pick up my laundry. It's beyond belief. And this is the environment that we're living in now, in this racist ass. And I know Staten Island. See, Staten Island is the only borough that voted for Trump.
But is it voted for Trump? But is it just Staten Island? Honestly, because
exactly,
there are parts of some years ago, I was visiting a friend in Bensonhurst, and I was coming back. This had to be before I moved to Brooklyn itself, but I was going over to Brooklyn to Bensonhurst. It's getting late, and I had to take the bus back to the train to get the Lotta. You can't make a direct cut into Staten Island unless you have a car, right? So, taking the bus back, and this very nice gentleman who was white, and he's like, I'm Italian, and the story is that I asked him if he knew about the bus schedule, and he goes, yeah, one should be coming. I live right over here. One should be coming. He said, do you mind if I wait with you? And I said, no, not at all. He goes, the reason why is because I'm from this neighborhood. I'm Italian. I know how people are. This was around the time of the whole Tawana Brawley case. So that's how long ago this was.
Holy shit.
And he said, if you don't mind, I wait with you because I don't want anyone messing with you. If they see you with me, they're not going to fuck around.
Wow.
And I said, I really appreciate that. He goes, and then he topped it off to say, I don't want you to think we're all like that.
Yes. Hold on, Mary. We'll be right back with Mary Edwards.
Sure.
All right, Mary. So he said, the guy said, what did he say?
So he said, he said, I don't want you to think we're all like that. Meaning, he didn't want me getting harassed on the street in this Italian neighborhood, Bensonhurst. Right. You saw Saturday Night Fever,
Yeah.
None of us were over there.
Wow.
So I'm waiting for the bus, and I said, I really appreciate what you did. And I said, I don't think you're all like that. I said, I think it takes all kinds, and I think there are more good people in the world than are not. And so bringing that 30 years to the future, I feel like there's a certain individual who wants to see us all, catfighting and one-upping each other culturally and every which way, when in fact, when you really get to know people, everybody has some deep-seated shit that they need to sort out. Some are willing to do it. Some don't realize that they have to do it. But let's not be afraid to talk about it, because I think I tried to talk about it with people I considered friends for years. I'm no longer friends with them because they basically told me to fuck off, because they thought just by my trying to initiate a conversation that I'm accusing them of being racist. I said, no, I'm not accusing you of being racist, but you're saying things that are very general, and I'm not comfortable with them. And
well, that's good. You got to call.
Have a conversation about.
You got to call people out.
And it's like, all right.
Go ahead. Sorry, Mary.
Oh, go ahead.
It's a little. There's a little delay. Right, so there, it's kind of hard sometimes.
Sorry. So. Well, here's a quick, here's a quick little anecdote. If you told me, also 30 years ago, oh, Mary, you're going to be living in New York. Now I'm very familiar with this neighborhood. We came over here from Myers Corners to the Lane Theater like a million times. I saw The Way We Were right around the block. I saw Purple Rain across the street. You know what I mean? We had all these great movie theaters, and this was one of the places that we came to for social outing on a Sunday with the family. But given some of its interesting history, if you said to me again 30 years ago you're going to be moving here, I would have said, no way, man. I'm not going to live here. I'm going to be living probably in Park Slope or whatever, which I did at one time, but I never thought I would be here in a million years. But I've been really fairly comfortable here since I did relocate back to Staten Island. And the reason why I say that is because 35 years, maybe almost 40 years ago, my mom was a teacher at New York. She taught English, And during the, race riots, I don't know if you remember the race riots that were popping up around select high schools. New York was one of the most prominent ones. And I think it all stemmed out of the idea that there was a black couple that bought a house here, and they burnt the house down, and yada yada. And pretty terrible, shameful history for our borough that just doesn't get discussed.
Right.
And my mom was a respected, prominent English teacher who taught students who had the agenda. They sat, dutifully in the class, taking in her lessons, but had the post 3 o'clock agenda to assault her once school was out.
What?
Because the dictum was get the 2 black teachers in the school. We're going to kick some black ass.
What is that?
And so my mom had to be escorted.
Are you serious? Holy shit!
I'm as serious as a heart attack.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, Staten Island is racist. That's for sure. I mean, right.
And my mom had to be escorted out of the school. So my mom and I were talking about this the other day. I said, after those incidents, and it was a good period of time ago. You'd think that we've healed, and then this thing happens, and people will say, "Well, it's a one-off." It's not really, because this guy has been continually harassing other people. I just happen to be the one to take out the video camera, not taking the shit out of them.
Right.
So, is it that it doesn't happen until somebody documents it?
Right. That's
because apparently no one believes it. If oral history just doesn't seem to be a thing.
No.
So the incident that happened when my mom was teaching high school, at that time I thought, well, no one's ever bothered me over here. I can't imagine that I'd make a home for a little while. But sure enough, here I am, and then this happens. Is it scaring me off from New York? No, it's not. Because I live here, I pay taxes, I should be able to pick up my laundry. And that's really the full circle of all this is, come on.
Right.
And most people will say, at least they'll say, or they'll profess that, oh, yeah, you should be able to live here. I don't see what the problem is, as long as, I have to say myself. But let's be real. That was how many years ago? And some people who may still live here could have been part of that incident.
Right.
I feel when they see this, when they see the video, that the shame. There's probably some shame there. And I'm not, I'm not angry about that particular thing, but I would, don't be ashamed. Figure out how to fix it.
Right. Exactly. Well, we
have
to.
The best way to get rid of the shame is to fix it.
Yes, and this is what we talk about on the show. One of the things, this is a liberal podcast. It's a political podcast, and they always say racism is the original sin of this country. It is racism and genocide.
It is.
Everything
that's been built is on the back.
Exactly.
Off the back of racism.
And I have an opinion, and thinking not just me. We share this. I understand. I mean, I know how to fix this country. I think the last time we were together, actually, we had this conversation. And I said, I know how to fix racism in this country, which is a pretty bold statement. And but I really, I do. And I said it to you, and you were like, okay, show me, tell me. And you were like, okay.
Tell me,
Yeah, but it is really about, and it's also about reparations, too. And what are reparations? It's recognizing
what are reparations?
Well, it's recognizing that there was a harm done and the real history of this country. So, and I believe that reparations and what I propose in how we fix racism in this country is, we talk about it on the show all the time, leaving no one behind. We're in this together. And like you were saying, I don't like being called an African American. I'm an American. It's true. Why, Right.
Why? You can call me a black. You can call me American black.
Right.
I am
what,
black.
but
Proud of it.
we are a
But
diverse
my nationality
people.
is American.
Right. And the thing is that in this country, we would already have things like universal health care, universal higher education, universal education. That is standard universal education. We wouldn't have good schools and bad schools if it wasn't for racism, because these were deliberate policies meant to keep people down, keep certain communities down. Meaning, let's fund.
Racism is a severe form of greed.
Well, it's yeah. I mean,
it's a severe form. It's a severe form of greed.
I mean, we were founded by people.
Or byproduct.
Well, yeah, but we were founded by people who could write all men are created equal, and they meant all white men and all definitely not women.
Right. Not the 3/5 variety like
exactly. So the way we fix
read the fine print.
Right, exactly. And the way we fix this broken ass divided country, and this goes for Joe Biden and all the DLC corporate Dems who like to throw subsidies at everything, is that we have to have policies that work for all. So everybody in, nobody out. Universal health care. That says we are each other's keepers. We're in this together.
That's right.
I care about, you care about me. We're a unified United States. Universal higher education. We invest in each other, not in, whether you are on a certain income scale or whatever, what neighborhood you're from. We're in it together. Everybody in, nobody out.
Together.
This is how we have to move forward. And I also believe that's part of reparations in a way of that white people can understand. I believe. I think that people say reparations and then they say, I never owned any slaves. But it's really about recognizing what happened.
What you have benefited from as a result.
Right. Of systemic, institutionalized racism. Like, for example, when my father came back from Korea when he was in the service, my uncles were in the service, they were able to use their GI Bill money to buy homes and go to school, but black service members were barred from using their GI Bill money or even getting a GI Bill.
Exactly.
They couldn't get it. Their GI Bill was they could only get into public housing. That was what the GI Bill for black people did.
Right, and this is how it all begins, and this is the history that we need to be taught.
Exactly, and they don't even realize it.
And
Wait, hold on, Mary. We got another music break here, or commercial. We'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin, Mary Edwards. All right, we're talking with Mary Edwards, and who's a composer, a recording artist, an amazing singer, songwriter, who also had an unfortunate. Well, she has a very great podcast called Notes Between Sessions with Mary Edwards, and unfortunately, the other day though, she was assaulted by a man in a video that has now become viral on Staten Island. Well, not just on Staten Island. I'm losing my voice, as you can hear. I don't know why. I hope I'm not getting sick, but I was, anyway, what was I saying? So she was assaulted by a racist.
About the video.
Yeah, who screamed the N-word at her and spit at her and, just walking around trying to pick up her dry cleaning. This is what it's like to be a black person in America, where you always got to have to think, who am I encountering? Do I need to put my body camera on? I mean, it's just unbelievable. But what we were talking about is how we fix racism.
How we fix racism. Now, I know we're not supposed to give credence to trolls, but some things do sting when someone comes to you and challenges you and says, you're using this man who's clearly, out of his mind as a, excuse for your racism. And I said, oh yeah, leave it to me to twist this into a racial issue after being assaulted with a barrage of the N-word. This is a commenter on the YouTube page, and I really have to be careful. Yeah, I have to be careful not to engage with what's going on, because I said it's a matter of time before somebody doesn't see it for what it is and challenges the obvious.
Yeah. Right.
And and one of the things she said, and it's kind of flipping my mind, because she said so many things that were just foul and off-putting, and I thought, you're missing the entire point of this. But it'll come back to me. But that was sort of the this is the problem we have, is how some of the comments that you see from people are, oh well, Staten Island sucks, oh, it's a cesspool, oh, he's a drug, right, well, you don't know that.
Right.
He was very well dressed. I mean, he could have had an alcohol problem. He's gotten up in the morning.
Yeah, but it's still,
into his...
Well, here's the thing. Even if he's an alcoholic...
It's not the narrative.
I'm a drug addict, okay? I'm in recovery. I'm an alcoholic in recovery, whatever. I was drunk and on drugs. You would never catch me screaming the N-word at anybody. You know what I mean? It has to be in there.
That's my point,
it's in there.
So, apples and oranges. And I say, do not denigrate... I say this to the public: do not denigrate drug addicts, alcoholics,
right,
or people who don't appear to have money, because that's part of this illness that we have. That's the illness,
right?
Is the judgment on one's appearance, the judgment on one's biological issues,
right?
That don't have anything to do with the bottom line of feeling emboldened, because he heard that from somewhere.
Yes.
He believes it. I mean, I could draw the conclusion that maybe he had some kind of day gig and lost it during the pandemic, and just fucking
right. Well, this is.
How dare you go into a dry cleaner when I'm standing out? I mean, who knows?
I mean,
we
who
can
cares?
draw a lot of conclusions.
Right. It's not a normal way to behave.
But the bottom line is, right? It's like people will get angry. People will mumble things under their breath. Oh, those Mexicans are taking our job. Well, the Mexicans are on hiatus right now because, the blacks are back. So, I would hear all kinds of things left and right. Now it seems to be coming full circle again. And it's just
well,
so, how do we fix it? Acknowledge it.
Yeah.
acknowledge it. When somebody tells you something happened, don't say, well, I don't think he didn't mean it. He didn't mean what he said. He fucking meant it, all right?
Yeah.
And that's what gets me riled up.
Right.
Not, it's almost like that man didn't piss me off as much as apologists will piss me off.
Right. Well, it's just they don't want to have the conversation.
Don't piss me off.
Yeah, right. It's
because they don't want to have the conversation.
Right. It's like
have the conversation.
Yeah. It's the equivalent
have the conversation because...
Right, sorry. It's the equivalent of saying Black Lives Matter and then somebody saying all lives matter. It's like, yeah, we know all lives matter, but if Black Lives Matter, we wouldn't have to say, I mean, if all lives actually mattered, we wouldn't have to say Black Lives Matter, but they don't seem to get that.
We wouldn't, exactly.
Yeah.
But they don't get it. And we don't even have to say Black Lives Matter. We can say, stop assaulting black people, period.
Just
who
really
didn't do shit to you but
Jesus
walk down the
Christ.
street.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
Stop.
So what's next, Mary? Mary, what is what's going to happen?
Next?
Yeah, what's next with this guy, or what's next in general? Because we got to wrap it up because I'm looking at the time.
Because he refused to give up any ID or name. We are still. It's still under investigation as to where this man actually resides. And so, in order for me to properly press charges, we need more information on him. So, wherever he is at the moment.
So he hasn't been arrested.
When he was arrested. Well, he was supposed to be arrested.
But where is he? They let him out?
He flipped out and he lashed out and they had to take him elsewhere.
Oh, okay. So they took him to like the mental hospital or something. Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, this is not the narrative. This is not the narrative.
Right.
This is not the excuse. So
right.
We'll just,
Well, that's maybe he's setting up an excuse, I mean, obviously he's not normal, but whatever. He wants to, who knows?
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
So I will be staying on top of it with the officers, the good officers at Precinct 122 on Highland Boulevard to follow up.
Yeah, definitely.
I will be diligently following up.
Well, and
I will be taking notes.
Yeah.
I will be doing timelines. And that, to say this is inexcusable, this is not acceptable.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're doing something.
It's not going to go by the wayside.
Yes. Good.
Thank you. No, listen. I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, all right.
We cross our T's, dot our I's, and I'll cross somebody else's T's and dot their I's.
Well,
so
will you keep us posted?
This has got to be taken care of. I will.
Yes,
I will certainly keep you posted.
And
Mary, I'm going to be keeping a timeline.
Yes, definitely. And you should be, as you are, I'm sure you are, recording everything and keep us posted, really. With all of this, you really should document everything that's going on. For real. So
I will be. I will be documenting. I'll be keeping things in the social media realm.
Exactly.
So that,
and where are you?
It can be followed.
So, Mary, what is? Where can we hear you on? I know you do your podcast, Notes Between Sessions, and is that you want everybody to go?
You can find Notes Between Sessions. Yeah, you can find it on all of the platforms. Apple Music. You can find it on Anchor Music. You can find it on Spotify. I also have on Bandcamp my other material, my more musical material. Notes Between Sessions is essentially a half an hour vehicle to talk about process, and the first few episodes have been interviews, but we're going to be moving in the realm of talking about projects and process. Yeah, sound design stuff, things that are socially relevant, and tune in. And again, I thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry it was so peppered with vulgarity, but I'm working it out.
Right, I'm glad. I mean, it's all good.
And whatever that thought was that I had, it's all good. I mean, whatever that thought was that I had in my head before, it's just to say that, when folks conflate one thing with another, it adds to the frustration. It provides a block, but, whether one will say that I have tenacity or fun. This is not just about me. Again, I want to reiterate, this is a bigger conversation. I wasn't the only person that this happened to that day, but it appears that I'm the only person who documented it, and that I don't know if I said this at the top of the show, but when the two of the store owners in the plaza came out and apologized to me for the man speaking to me that way, and, followed by, he's here all the time. And I'm like, well, there's the problem.
All right, Mary, that's
there's the problem.
Well, will you come back? You will come back and you will give us an update on the show. We're talking to Mary Edwards, and my name is Tara Devlin. Please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And remember, we are on the right side of history. We are on the right side of humanity. We're on the right side of democracy. We stick together. We win. And we will win. I'll see you real soon. Oh my God. I should have timed that cue better. Go to Mary Edwards' podcast, all right? You know how it is. All right. Well, that's the end of the Progressive Voices show. But thank you, Mary, for hanging out with us and telling us your experience. And please keep us posted on, next steps with making the world a better place. Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. When we stand up to this ignorance, we are making the world a better place. And that's what that guy is so pathetic. He's pathetic. But it has to be responded to. Imagine being that person, adding nothing to humanity. Anyway, whatever. Thank you, Mary, for hanging out. And, yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll talk to you
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of
See
course.
you soon.
I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
All right, everybody. Mary Edwards and her harrowing experience. Well, this is where we live. This is Trump's America. And yeah, congratulations, Twitler. This is what you have built. Remember, I thought we were going to be great. What kind of great country is at each other's throats like that? And it's always been this way, right? Whenever we take one step forward, we have the conservatives. That's what they are. It's just conservatives. If they were just conservatives, if they were really conserving something, what are they conserving? They want to conserve their white privilege. They want to conserve ignorance. It's as if, I guess, being an ignorant, racist troll, prowling the streets, is your American birthright now. How do you think? You know what I mean? It really is depressing, frankly. Imagine being that person. And this is what makes me so sad about conservatives in many ways, because they add nothing. They don't bring anything to the table. They don't make the world better for them being in it. What do they add? They don't even add anything to the conversation. What does it add when they're waving giant made in China, Make America Great Again flags? Or right now, there's a Black Lives Matter rally. Where the heck is it? I was just looking somewhere. And they're having a counter rally. The Trump supporters are having a counter rally for the against the Black Lives Matter rally. But it's all a bunch of white idiots with what are they wearing? Riot gear, flak jackets, assault weapons. It's just this new day, same old shit. What's the difference? Do you think, really, what's the difference between them when you see these Trumpanzees now walking around with their assault weapons? What is the difference than back in the day in the civil rights movement? With the same old, good old boys trying to intimidate people, trying to drag humanity backwards. And trust me, as I say, we know it. They're not going to age well. Literally and figuratively. They usually don't age well literally because they're full of hate and they like to eat a lot of shitty dead animals. Corpses, I don't know, greasy goddamn corpses. It's disgusting. They're gross. They don't want to think about it. That's their American birthright. Just shove a lot of shit in your mouth. But what are they? And just be ignorant. Be ignorant, stupid, a moron. Am I repeating myself? I guess so. But what can you do? How many words? The Eskimos have, what do they say, 90, 100-something words for snow? Here in the United States of Serfs and Lords, in Twitler's America, we got hundreds of words for moron, idiot, dotard. We have to. Because look at what we're up against. Really, honestly, what do they bring to the table? Can anybody ask? I've said this before. I've often asked, and actually Tom Hartman he's had an ongoing contest, if anybody can tell him or tell us in general, what have Republicans done for this country? I'm not just for the country. Well, they could say they made the rich richer, that's for sure. What have they done for the working class of this country? Have they ever done anything for the working class? Of course not. In fact, Tom Hartman has this contest going for years. No one's ever won the contest. Really, can somebody do I've been asking this same question. What have they done? That is, name me one legislation, something that they've advanced that has primarily helped the working people of this country. They've done nothing. Every time they get power, you know what they'll say? Well, I told you the story before. I asked this question of some Republican that was arguing with me on Facebook or somewhere. I don't remember. It was a couple of years ago. And I asked, what have Republicans ever done to help the working class? And then she sent me back a link from Mitch McConnell's website, the Americans Jobs Act. This is how stupid they are. I said, yeah, what does it matter? It's called the America's Jobs Act, but what's in it? It's nothing but a tax break for the 1%. They could call it anything, just like they call their pollution bills the Clean Skies initiatives, or the healthy forests where they cut down the trees. Clean oceans, they call it the Clean Water Act. This is, Orwell is blushing from what they do. And, well, that's the Republic. This is the fascists. In every Republican chest, as I say, beats the heart of fascism. And no wonder this country is swirling the bowl because, we got a lot of collaborators, these Vichy class war collaborators. And that's what the Republicans are, just like in history. When they collaborate, they're traitors against their own country. Well, it's always the conservatives who collaborate. You notice that? It's true. They collaborate with the dictators and the fascists and the autocrats because really it's about keeping people in their place. That's conservatism. They like hierarchy. And it really ultimately comes down to racism. And we've had this discussion before. It really does come down to racism. They would rather, I guess, sell their entire country down the river as long as the big authoritarian daddy can save them from the others who don't know their place. That's really what it's about. And the Republicans, they easily put them on the hook. That's what's so annoying about them. They're so easily manipulated. What is with that? Jesus Christ. So let's get back to what's going on in the world. We were speaking to Mary. Here's one thing I wanted to talk about too. I'll show you my screen. That's me. You see me and me and me and me in those pictures. Nikki Haley defends Trump's comments on U.S. troops and says Biden should take down the campaign video. Now let's watch Biden's video. Hold on. Let me get rid of this thing here. Boom, boom, boom. Put that like that. All right. Let's rewind. Boom. Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers. This is Joe Biden's video, Suckers, showing a funeral of a service member. We're not going to support that loser's funeral about John McCain. Of course, I don't get it. What was in it for them? He says to the father of a fallen soldier, if you don't respect our troops, you can't lead them. Joe Biden's video says. And this is the video that Nikki Haley is coming to the rescue of her dumb Führer, her dim leader. Nikki Haley defends Trump's comments on U.S. troops and says Biden should take down the campaign video. Are you kidding me? So she tweets, Biden should take this down. All of us who worked with Trump witnessed the tremendous amount of love and respect he has for our military. He was determined to protect them. We had many conversations in NSC meetings about Really? Well, how come he didn't mention to Putin about the bounties on the heads of our soldiers? His master. How come he didn't mention that? Oh, what did he say? That was fake news, supposedly. Everything is fake news. This is a reason why I can't stand Trumpanzees, on top of everything else. They're such suckers. Look, turn off Fox News, please. And read a book. First of all, I would recommend The History of Western Civilization. But I would also recommend The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Okay? Do yourself a favor. And then you tell me if he's not following the same playbook. Of course he is. What really gets me is these Republicans, they'll send me emails and whatnot, or Twitter, tweet at me. You don't know anything. Are you kidding me? I don't know anything. You don't know the meaning of fascism. This is what they'll say. When they don't know, take a minute and learn history. They don't know who they're talking to. This is obviously, not that it matters to them. This is a class of citizen, quote unquote, who get their history lessons from memes posted on 4chan. Seriously. They argue with memes. Then they'll send spurious quotes at me. Completely made up. All you could do, it takes you 10 seconds to debunk the spurious quotes that they send. I'm telling you, it happens all the time. They're not even smart enough to Google. But you see, they're like McGruff the crime dog when it comes to what Democrats do. Let's say, oh, Democrats are supposedly, it's a big conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy. But they don't see the conspiracy unfolding right under their noses. The conspiracy of Twitler and fascism. This is what's happening. Don't be surprised or fooled or whatever. The fact is, we know that Twitler is not leaving the office. He's not. He is already signaling it. This is why he's been disparaging the electoral process. He wants to cause chaos at the polls. And how any American who says they love this country thinks that that's okay. I'm telling you, during Bush v. Gore back in the day, I remember saying to friends of mine, I had a couple of friends who were Republicans at the time, and I don't know what they are. I'm sure they're now still. And I remember saying, what are you talking about? Why are you so pleased that the Supreme Court stopped the vote count? You should be equally outraged. Because if it was the other way around, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would be outraged. Democrats don't behave like that. You understand? They really don't. For all that we say about Democrats, for all the criticism that we give them, rightfully so, the corporate Democrats, that's for sure. But they don't behave like that. They don't try to steal elections. When they lose an election, they go and they knock on doors. They get together and say, how do we win a coalition? What do Republicans do? They figure out ways to gerrymander, to kick people off the voting rolls, to pass laws that require all kinds of hurdles to your vote. Move voting locations way out in the boondocks so you can't get there by bus, or even if you tried. This is what they do. Oh, but if I showed that to a Republican, they'd say, oh, that's fake news. But we're supposed to believe that Twitler, the guy who forever he's been saying, he's called John McCain, I like people who weren't captured. When you, even that, it's as disgusting as when he came down the escalator saying that Mexicans are rapists. That's where I drew the line. Any real American would have done the same. They would have smelled this fascist bastard from a mile away, and they wouldn't have jumped on that filthy Trump train that's going off a cliff. So, but they did, because we have 35% of human beings, is what it is. They're authoritarian personalities. They want authoritarianism. They can't handle democracy. Like I say, they can't. They lack the maturity. It takes a level of maturity to hang out and function and have a society with people who aren't like you, who are different. That's scary. That's too much for them. That's too much freedom for them. So, but if you're a patriot, you would be equally outraged by a dictator envying con man who says everything that this guy does he's a filthy liar. So we're all supposed to now believe that he turned around one day and he became this guy who has never done a single thing for anybody but himself, who has a long history of tax cheating, of manipulation, of not paying contractors and employees, of leaving others holding the bag, that he's turned around suddenly and is the champion of the people. This guy who sues, who inflicts harassment, long campaigns of harassment against low-income, fixed-income, rent-controlled, social people on Social Security, old people who are unfortunate enough to live in one of his tacky apartments. So this is what he does, harassing these people so he can get rid of them and jack up the price for their apartments. I mean, the rent-controlled apartment doesn't bring in the buku bucks. But you think that these great Americans, these so-called patriots, they like to call themselves, when they don't know the first meaning of the word patriot. Of course they don't. What does it mean? It means you care about your fellows. It means fellow countryman. That's what patriot means. So here's a whole swath, a whole segment of society of suckers who don't know the meaning of patriot. If you're a patriot, if somebody says, if your fellow Americans say to you, we have a very different American experience than you do. And they say, we're tired of our people, who have darker pigment, being killed by cops. Why is this happening? And they say, guess what? Black lives matter. And you say all lives matter. That's not a patriot. You're not a patriot. Because if you want to move this country forward, you want to know why. Tell me your experience. I want to know. Because we can't move forward together unless we're together. Otherwise, we're going to be at each other's throats. But that's what they want. That's the Republican way. This is why you'll never see or hear a Republican challenge any of their constituents to evolve, to not be. Oh, they'll say, I'm not a racist. Well, they all say that. Like that cop. We played the video of the cop who he resigned after he was recorded screaming at his girlfriend, N-word, 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 because she talked to a black guy when they went into a store. And then he harassed her all the way home, screaming at her for talking to an N-word. This is what he was saying. This is 2020. And he said, this guy said, I'm not racist. They all say that. David Duke says that. David Duke says he's not racist. They all say that. The Nazis said that. Please. But anyway, speaking of how irredeemable Republicans are, yeah, we always hear how Nikki Haley. Oh, I like Nikki Haley. We'll hear Meghan McCain will say, oh, I like Nikki Haley. She can be the first female president, God help us. She's an enabler. She's just as bad as the rest of us. She's as bad as McConnell. Covering the ass of a con man? Biden should take this down. All of us who worked with Donald Trump witnessed the tremendous amount of love and respect. Bullshit. If you love and respect the troops or any American, you would ask, why are you suckling a dictator's teat and genuflecting and supplicating yourself on the international stage to an anti-democratic, anti-American foreign dictator? All of them. First of all, he loves Putin most of all, but all of them. Every American, anybody who votes for Twitler is not a patriot. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what happened today? I wish I had grabbed it off of the MSNBC. This is somebody, who was it? Oh, it was the father, the guy's name, the Khan family. I can't remember the guy's first name, but his son died. He's a Gold Star father. This is one of the real patriots that Twitler has assaulted over his years of crimes against this country, and both moral and literal. But he asked Khan, because Khan said that Mr. Khan said that Trump is not a patriot. Of course he's not. You don't attack Gold Star families. How dare you? So he called Trump, and he said Trump isn't a patriot. And the what's his name? I can't remember who it was. The commentator, the mouthpiece, had to jump in. I don't know why they do this. Jump in and save Trump. Had to say, well, can't you understand that? I just want to interrupt you here, Mr. Khan, but you said that Trump isn't a patriot, but don't you agree that people of good faith who are patriots, can't you understand why they would vote for Trump? This is what he said. Why are you jumping in and putting words in this guy's mouth? Can't you understand? Why are you rescuing an entire disgraceful segment of this society? Because mark my words, guys, we know this. Trump is not going down in history as a great president. He will be nothing but shamed in history, by history. He'll go down as the ignoble, disgusting, disgraceful con man that he is. The only way that he's not going to go down as the disgusting, ignoble, disgraceful con man is because the corporate media is doing their part to rehabilitate him already. How dare you? Can't you see why people of good faith would vote for him? No, I can't, actually. If you really must know why anybody would vote for him. Especially now. How many more have to die? How many lies do you endure? Yeah, you love the military, right? You love because you wanted a big military parade. Because you have a smaller than average penis, like Stormy said. Well, she said it. I don't know. I'm just repeating what she said. You wanted everybody to see. This is what apparently he said that he wanted, well, on his inauguration, he wanted the military to have a North Korea style parade. Okay? That's what he thinks power is. Using you. You're nothing but a pawn to him. So why? Of course. If he so disrespectfully, so disparagingly denigrates those who wore the uniform. I like people who weren't captured. How dare you? You didn't have the balls. Imagine if he was captured. He would turn traitor instantaneously. You know it. Here's somebody that he wouldn't pull a goddamn hair for this country. That's for sure. He wouldn't be captured because he would never put himself in harm's way. He would never do a damn thing for anybody, including his entire family, and his whole family sucks too. So how does anybody vote for someone who, what has he done? The economy? Give me a break. If you're a useless idiot if you think this is a great economy. I'm so sick of hearing this. This is another thing that the corporate media constantly harps on. Well, the economy before the pandemic. Really? Before the pandemic, we were the least upwardly mobile. That was the ground. Before the pandemic and after, it's even worse. Before the pandemic, the majority of Americans, over 80%, were living check to check. How is that a great economy? Give me a break. Before the pandemic, how about we are the 34th out of 35 countries that they are in the developed world in which to raise a family. The best places to raise a family were 34 out of 35. Only Mexico is lower. And they actually beat us on different metrics because they have health care. We don't. And so don't give me this thing. Why I'm asking this question. I know the answer to. Why corporate media? Why are they so eager to rehabilitate everybody who voted for him? And the Republican Party? Nikki Haley is a liar. Like her lying goddamn con man who she's enabling and covering the ass of. So who you gonna believe? You gonna believe the Atlantic, the writers at the Atlantic, who they go through numerous fact-checking and corroborating. Oh, well, it's It's an anonymous source. Anonymous sourcing is how journalism has run forever and ever. You know, remember Deep Throat? That's an anonymous source. But, you know, the difference between The Atlantic or those who are journalists and Twitler is that if they get it wrong, if the journalists get it wrong, they print a correction. Twitler just continues to lie. So give me a break. Nikki Haley defending Trump? Are you kidding me? Here's somebody who we know for years. What did Mary Trump say? And we already heard this. In Marla Maples, in her prenup, it was written that if Tiffany joined the military, all of her support, her financial support, would be gone. That's somebody who respects the military? That's somebody who thinks you're a sucker. How come not a single Trump has ever worn the uniform of this country? None of them. Going back to when they escaped, well, his granddaddy escaped wearing the uniform of his country to come here and be a crook. And that's who you're voting for? And you expect me to be like, you're a patriot? Please. Guys, I see only 2 minutes left. Listen. Holy moly. I want to thank you all for hanging out. Please become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin so we can do the show on a daily basis and have a Saturday special. How's that sound? Well, at this rate, we will have that dream will come to fruition the first of never. Since, my God, I understand it's tough out there, but we need about 1,000 more patrons, and it's not getting any easier. So if you want to have a real liberal media, this is it. I know, it sucks. I'm sorry. There's cats walking around. I'm not sorry about that. Hey, it is what it is. You do that's what Twitler says, right? You can't say it is what it is anymore. It sucks. He ruined everything. I want to thank. I'm going through the super chats because I missed a few. Thank you, Jim, of course, and Deborah, and Haiku. Thank you, and thank you, JD, and thank you, Shannon, for your super chat. Thank you, Stephen Lee. He wins the day with the very generous super chat. Thank you, KT. And thank you, K Taz. Are you the same person? I don't know. Probably not. Why would you be two people on the stream? KT and K Taz. Guys, thank you, Shannon. Another super chat. Love you. Thank you, Shannon writes. And I really enjoy getting together with you guys and going through the news and talking about life and reclaiming patriotism. That's what we're doing. We are the real patriots. It's the truth. Because we're capable of functioning in a free democratic society of 320 million, 20, maybe 30 now, diverse people. We understand that freedom means being free to go to the doctor when you're sick, taking a day off when you're sick, leaving no one behind. How about if you fall on hard times, that there's a minimum safety net to catch you? That's what it means to be living in a civilization. Every other country understands this. What's wrong with us? We're here to wake people up. Because liberals, we are on the right side of history. We are the real patriots. It is the truth. And as I say, we stick together, we win. That's another way of saying e pluribus unum. Out of many, one. We have to have a country that works for all. And it starts with the liberal media waking up our fellow Americans. My name is Tara Devlin. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. All right, that's the show. I can't believe it. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. And it's dark out. Jesus, it's dark out already. I hope I'm not getting sick. My throat feels a little sore, I have to tell you. I'm just saying, my glands are a little swollen. Oh, boy. All right, my friends. What else? Let me see. All right, we're getting out of here because I got to cut the show for Progressive Voices. But you guys, you know what to do. Become a patron. And not only that, also join our Discord community if you haven't already. Let me see. I got to shut this down. And what else? And we'll see. Hopefully I want to have a show as much as possible. So let us do that. Let's do that. The more that we have shows, the bigger the show grows, and the more we have, the more better it gets. Is that even a sentence? What am I saying? Well, you get the whole gist. I do notice that there's new people in the chat room. I like that. I like the old people, too. The old people are there. But we're getting new people. Do you know what I mean? Like KT and Zenny and Gypsy Queen. How about that? Lee, you're not new. Stephen Lee isn't new, and Lee in New York City. And Terry and Patricia, I want to say hello. Haiku, of course. Yes, you got to put the likes on there and subscribe. And also hit the notification bell so when we do record during the week, you'll be notified. What else? Patricia says, yes, my throat has been sore, but it's due to the heat and smoke. Okay. What smoke? You smoking? You better not smoke. We need everybody healthy for the fight. And who else is here? Let me see. Lee. I want to say hi to Banterboard. Before we go, we will be going. Let's watch one video together as a family, as a nice family community. Let's watch a video of Trump and Z parade sinking. I think that'll make me happy. Let's see. Multiple boats. Let's find a nice, good one. Boats in distress. I'm trying to find anybody. If anybody has one of the videos handy, just put it in the chat and I'll grab it. Because I had one. There's so many things to talk about. This is why we need a daily show. But we can't until we get enough patrons. You know? Whoa, shit. Fucking ad. There was an ad that blasted in my ear and it scared me. Let's see. Hold on, everybody. This is, hey, whatever. This is what it is. It is what it is, as we say. If you're listening on the podcast, you're probably like, what the hell? I thought I had a good one. of the Trumpanzees sinking. Come on. I want to... Shannon. Oh, Shannon's texting me. She's saying there's a lot of people on the chat. I mean, on Facebook, too. That's good. Usually Facebook has not that many. That's why I do encourage everybody to go over to YouTube. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. This is the one I was watching earlier that made me laugh. Oh, should I? I shouldn't laugh. Yeah, I should. They've put us through enough. We get the right to laugh at this. I'm sorry. All right, so there's a whole bunch of Trumpanzees in the water with their stupid made in China Trump flags on their boats. And there goes. It's very wavy. The waves are waving. Oh, whoa, there it goes. People are screaming. No, but they're all right. There's many people there to rescue them. Wow. Boom. Bye-bye. God must not like you. Not like that Trump flag. God doesn't like slave labor in Chinese factories, that's for sure. Wow. Take a hint. Of course, nobody's wearing a mask. What are you gonna do? Well, they don't wear masks. It's just not. They don't get it. They don't get the patriotic reason why you would wear a mask, like to care about somebody other than yourself. That was a good one. Who else? Let's see. The guy says, "I can't stop laughing, and I'm not even sorry about it." Yeah. I agree, my friend. I'm sorry. Is that wrong of me? I'm only human. I've had enough. Really. The Antifa Naval Fleet must have done this, says Gypsy Queen. Exactly. That's so funny. Let's see if there's any more before we go. Let me see. Multiple boats. I know. We want to see video, though. Multiple boats sink. How come they all sunk? That's what I don't understand. Because it was so wavy? Is that why? Large crowds marching through Rochester in protest of police brutality. The Antifa Navy is trending. That's awesome. Now that voters for Trump have been defeated by the fictitious Antifa Navy and their bags of soup, Trump will have no choice but to call them suckers and losers. Sad, says Brooklyn Dad Defiant. That's great. Antifa Navy. I love it. Amazing. Look at these fucking idiots. Look at them with their stupid flags. Why are they so stupidly big? Don't you understand that you look like an idiot? You might as well say, I am the dupe of a con man and I don't care. Really. Trump 2020. You might as well also say, I'm a racist. And that's my American birthright. That's what they're saying. I hope they had guns on those boats and they were all at the bottom of the sea. Or wherever that is. Why? Who would invest? You think about the deliberate actions somebody has to take to purchase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flags that say Trump and then go through all the trouble of putting them on your boat, flying one higher than the other, pointing in all different directions. What kind of shit is that? How stupid do you have to be? That's what you're doing. It's on the internet. You couldn't, but you didn't do even due diligence to search and to see where are these made in America or China? You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a half, I guess. Well, that's not really a Trump flag. 8.5 Trump flags. And then you got to go through all the trouble of getting different poles, latching the poles, making one higher, one lower. Why? You think when you were doing the research, you could have searched and found out that Twitler is a con man. But you don't care. He's a racist like you. And you get permission to be as racist as you want to be. That's what it comes down to. They don't care who gets hurt. What if this country's at each other's throats? They're fine. Because they could say the N-word. Make America great. You're not making it great. It's not great when 200,000 Americans are dead in 3 months. That's not great. When the entire earth have closed their doors to us. God. So stupid. But this, we can all breathe a little easier tonight, knowing that this poor, sad boat is at the bottom of the, bottom of the river. And all those flags. Somebody saved the made in China Trump flags. Don't worry, he'll order more. Yeah, while he's on the internet, you think he might find some truth out there. But I'm sorry. That's too much to ask. Antifa Navy. What? Joey? What the? Holy moly. Thank you, Joey. Joey wins the Super Chat war. It's not a war. We're in it together. We're all on the same side. The Super Chat challenge to make Tarabuster a daily show. We need to do it. It has to happen. But it can't happen without your support. And thank you, Joey, for doing that. Because we know that times are tough and that means a lot. We need about 1,000 more of you. If we did, we'd have a show every single damn day at the same time every day. Wouldn't that be great? And maybe we can get a producer too. And then we can, what else? We'll get all kinds of people, guests, different guests. I don't know. Oh, God. There's so much work to do. But it starts with this. It really does. We don't make the country better without a liberal media. It starts from here. Just like the American Revolution started with the pamphlets. We will reclaim this country for the majority. We will actualize the really, the promises in our founding documents. Have a country that works for all. That's not 34th out of 35. We should be ashamed. That's the story that should be on every corporate media ticker tape on the bottom or whatever. Crawl. But no, of course not. That's because they're corporate media. We talk about the real things that we need to talk about here. So thank you. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for being a part of it, for keeping it going. Tonight, I want to thank Mary Edwards for sharing her experience. Remember to subscribe to Mary's show. And let's see. What else? Mary's show is called Notes Between Sessions with Mary Edwards. And she has a very calming voice, too. She should be a voiceover artist. But, guys. I gotta go, because I have to cut the show for Progressive Voices. Now, my other part of the day begins, where I have to edit the show into different pieces and send it over to Progressive Voices, and then edit it for SoundCloud, and edit it for FYI Nation now, and edit it for everything. Yes, it was good to get Mary on the show after what happened, especially that story was on the cover of the Staten Island Advance. That's Staten Island's newspaper. So it's getting a lot of play over there. It's unbelievable, though. It really is. How we have to... Where we gotta live. What kind of shit is this? What kind of... Ugh. I have post-traumatic stress disorder from everything. All right, my friends. Oh, God. Remember what I say. Thank you, Patricia. Well, I say that, too. And Resist Evolve. And thank you, Lee. Thank you, Kay. And Shannon. And Haku. And Lee in New York City. And Greg. And Joey, of course. And Gypsy Queen. And Richard W. And thank you again. What? Another super chat. Shannon, you're going nuts over here. Thank you, David. He's new. That's good. And Malcolm, thank you. Thank you. And Jim. Thank you. Who else is here? Lee. Kay. Zenny. Gypsy Queen. Greg. Where? Uh-oh. I almost hit the wrong button. And reported somebody to the police. No, I'm only kidding. Greg. And thank you, Patricia. You don't have to do that. Patricia. Thank you very much. And Zenny. Another super chat. We're doing good. We just need about 1,000 more of you. All right, my friends. Like I say, we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of democracy, the right side of humanity. We stick together, we win, and we will win. You know it. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much. Let's hope if somebody becomes a patron, let's hope they do. We might have a show on Monday. What do you think of that? Please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And I will see you very soon.